How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the San Jose Sharks franchise mode, episode number 11, headed into the 2025 offseason, and oh my goodness, what a postseason it was. One of my favorites, I have to say, in channel history. Round number 1, we're down 3-1. We come back with the crazy Game 7 victory. Down by 1 with less than a minute to go, pull the goalie, tie it up, score 5 seconds later, win 4-3, win the series in 7. What a ride. Round number 2, we sweep through the Predators. Round number 3, now we're up 3-1. The Jets come back, but we fend them off and win in 7. But then unfortunately in the Stanley Cup final, we didn't have enough in the tank and we dropped in 5 games to the Carolina Hurricanes, just making our second Stanley Cup final appearance in franchise history. But we don't want to do what the real life Sharks did after 2016, when they followed up missing out on the Stanley Cup with a first round exit, a second round exit, a third round exit, and then a massive postseason drought. So we want to have some success moving into next season. I feel like we're just about a piece away or so. The majority of this team is not going to be touched. The young players, Connor Bedard, William Eklund, they're going to continue to grow. More new young pieces will join the fold. Blake Wheeler was incredible. 21 points in 23 games from him. Erik Karlsson still great. Drouin, Hurdle, Cunnin was an amazing story. Goaltending wasn't so great. Samsonov's numbers were a lot better for the Stanley Cup final. He ends with a 900 save percentage and 3.11 goals against. So there's a lot to think about in this postseason. A few tweaks we'd like to make, some improvements that we'd like to make as well on certain positions where applicable. So I'm going to start it off with the longest comment and also the one with the most meat on it. That one comes from Cheating Heel once again, who always has a lot to say, and I think it'll set a good foundation for the rest of the comments. It's a long one, but skimming through it, sad way to go, but it was a great run. Wheeler really pulled his weight. We might want to keep him for now and replace him at the deadline if he's having a bad season. Now, the reason why I'm more inclined to move on from Blake Wheeler right now is that his value will never get higher than it is right now, being 38th, and with his potential going down despite his overall being high. With his overall, with his performance, I might want to capitalize on his value because I've been burned many times before by regressing veterans. I was also saying in the previous video that we'd most likely have to let Esa Lindell go, but if we can sign him around $5 million per year, we might want to trade Knizov and his $4 million cap hit instead. I think Lindell brings more to the table, and if we can sign Lindell for around $5 million, then I think it would make sense to improve on Knizov and have Lindell stay. Some draft thoughts. Montreal wants to trade one of their picks. They have picks 1 and 2. We could think about it, and also we definitely want to go after some of the elite goaltenders. We need to explore trading for a superstar right wing at the draft, since there doesn't seem to be one in free agency. I'd move Logan Couture, too expensive for what he brings and is getting up there as far as age goes. Knizov, so we can keep Lindell. Mantha, biggest deception since he came over. Merkley, not worth what he's asking for. And maybe even Lindblom, great value at 85 overall, but no production. Lindblom I'd like to keep if possible because of how good he is for the special teams. Zucker can walk. If we need more money, we can try to retain salary and trade Vlasic. It feels like he'll never retire. The Lions could look something like this. Drouin, Bedard, superstar right wing, Eklund, Hurdle, Wheeler, Cunnin, question mark, Lucius, Lindblom, question mark, Glass, Tanguay, then Reedy, Gregor as the extras. Defense would be Lindell, Karlsson, Rodin, Bouchard, Ferraro, Pickering, and Knizov as 7th. We came so close to our goal, we don't need much tweaking. The money we save plus picks we acquire by trading some of those players should be more than enough to bring a top right winger for Bedard and a better option in goal to back up / replace Samsonov if he falters. If Couture moves on, then we have thoughts for the captaincies and stuff like that. But a big statement to end off here, we need to take our shot before Bedard asks for over $10 million a year, and while Karlsson is still at the top of his game. We were so close, we could taste it. Time to regroup, tweak a bit, and get back out there to get our trophy. Go Sharks. Thank you for that great comment, Cheating Heel. And what I replied to Cheating Heel, big comment as well, I won't go through all of it, but I did mention if we move on from Wheeler and Mantha, and maybe even do keep Lindell, I think the lines might be, and without getting a right winger, that's without a right winger, It would be Eklund, Bedard, Drouin, Couture, Hurdle, Lucius, depending on if we get him more ice time, Lindblom, Glass, Cunnin, and then 2 spots to fill in the fourth line with Larry Tanguay, with Reedy, Grigor, Bystedt, Weisblad, etc. So there's a lot of different options we could do. We don't even really know what overalls we're dealing with off-season growth and regression coming up. But we do know that if we wanted to go after a superstar right winger, and we didn't want to wait till free agency to see who fell or have to compete with other teams, we could look to trade for the rights of some of these high-end right wingers. Now, sorting by overall and looking at who produces the most, I went through all of them, and it seemed and looking at just the UFAs, of course, it seems as though Pavel Buchnevich is the best available for his potential, his age, his overall, and his production. Simulates as a playmaker. He is a playmaker, but he does score a lot as well with 4.5-star shooting. That could be great for Connor Bedard after he had a 44-goal season. I could see him being a guy who would probably want in the $7-8 million range if we got him on our team. So if we could trade for him and sign him as our future first-line right winger, I wouldn't mind that. If we wanted to go the trade route, we would need much more trade value. So if I go into the player search and look for forwards who are at least like 86, 87 overall and not making more than 10 million, like a guy like Matthew Tkachuk, for example, 90 overall, 9.5 million for 6 more years, great contract. But that comparatively, that's quite a bit of trade value. And when I look at how he simulates, it's not as good as Buchnevich did this last season. So if we're looking at acquiring a right winger, it might be Buchnevich just because of how cheap we could get him for in terms of trade value. Rob Thomas is very interesting. But again, taking players who have term, a guy with a 7-year contract, would the Blues really want to move him? Not as likely as a team wanting to move an expiring contract in Buchnevich. So there are a lot of good options in terms of talent around the league, but if we did go after someone, I think it's going to be Buchnevich. I'm still not sure if we will be going after anyone, but that's kind of my thinking heading into the draft at this point. So that was a large comment. I had a lot of thoughts that I think I tend to agree with, and I think the rest of the comments tended to agree with as well. I'll just close it out by looking at a second one before we get into the offseason, coming from Joey, who said, "Great run. I'm surprised you didn't punish Carlson because of his bad line change. He was just producing too much, but I wasn't happy about it. In the finals, I would have given Vlasic top 4 minutes because of his poise. In retrospect, yes, I think that would have been a good decision. Since the picks are late, yes, we should draft multiple goalies, and yes, we want Jesus Foy. See if you can trade Vlasic, but since he only has 1 year left, why not buy him out? You're a contender now. Since you surpassed your expectations, why not keep Blake Wheeler? Release or trade Zucker and Ryan Merkley for starters. Next season will be good. Hopefully Brent Burns' contract was up and you're not paying for his retained salary." So concerning the thoughts about a Vlasic buyout, we have our team. It's just that guys like Rodin, guys like Tanguay, guys like Pickering, Bedard, they're on their entry-level deals. While they're on those deals, we have money to spend. And I don't want to, let's say, buy out Vlasic, get 5-6 million of relief, and then sign a player for 5-6 million for 5 or 6 years. I need that money next season for extensions for the young players. So if we can keep Vlasic for one more season just to try and win with him and or Couture, I wouldn't mind that. I don't think we're pressed for money just yet, especially for moving out Mantha, maybe Knizhov, other pieces. We'll keep it in mind, but I'm not saying that that's one of my number one priorities for the 2025 offseason. I'm going to go over to the Discord server to end on this. Very rare that I go to Slim Shady 4578. Slim is a staple in the Discord server, but he's also known to be a jokester. He is openly a joyful troll at times, but he left some good thoughts here, I gotta say. Unpopular opinion. I would buy out Vlasic, the cap will go up, and it wouldn't be realistic to trade him even if he retains salary. That I think I agree with. If we lost Vlasic, I'd rather just buy him out than have to add a sweetener and move on from him. It was a good run in the playoffs, but the discipline, goaltending, and defense absolutely choked in clutch time, especially in the Western Conference Final and Stanley Cup Final. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. The vets will regress and the kids will want to get paid. I think we have to evaluate players on playoff performance from an overall performance. If we happen to keep some vets, we should get a veteran coach to make sure they're not likely going to regress as easily. But yeah, those are my thoughts, and it'd be cool to see the Sharks finally overcome their legacy of failure, even if it pains me as a Ducks fan. So yeah, go Sharks with some pain. Thank you, Slim. I appreciate that. Okay, so with all those thoughts understood and a lot of the other ones that I've digested from the YouTube comments, always taking the time to reply to them, but I don't want to take too much more of the time here in the episode. I would like, in a perfect world, to keep Esa Lindell, because I thought when we acquired him, he'd be wanting 6+ million. But now, 5.5, 85%, somewhere in the 4 millions. You're telling me to improve from Knyzhov to Lindell only costs about $1 million? I think that is worth it. Knyzhov, 83 overall, 27 years of age, making $4 million for 3 more seasons, 8 goals, 8 assists, plus 5 on the year. Esa Lindell, 8 goals, 19 assists on the season, plus 18, 31 years of age, 2 overall higher. I wouldn't mind that. Although, again, I really want to win with as many original Sharks as possible. He was undrafted. He's been in the Sharks organization for a good while now. I really want to win with as many original players as possible, but that's a solid improvement. And we have some defense coming down in the pipeline with Rodin and with Pickering. Going to be jumping to the NHL this next season. Already, Merkley is going to be tough. I don't think he's going to be able to stay on at this point. He wants way too much money for a third pair guy. So I think heading into the draft, Ryan Merkley is trade bait. I think Anthony Mantha is trade bait. I think potentially Blake Wheeler is trade bait. And the targets could be high picks, could be picks next season, or it could even be Pavel Buchnevich. So I think we're going to head into the draft with that as the game plan. I'll be curious to see what picks are available in the draft here. Montreal has picks 1 and 2. Are they looking to keep both of them? They are. Good on them. No picks wanting to be traded until pick number 6, and then nothing until 14 and 15. So not a lot of picks up for grabs this draft, and it's not a very deep class either, so I don't mind that. If I go to offer trade and just do a little bit of due diligence, is there any like really crazy great deal for a right winger out there? Let me just check it out. Not seeing much. Cole Caulfield does tempt me as an 87 overall, 5 years left on his deal, because they have Charlie Chow, who is their future right winger now, I guess. Caulfield, how does he simulate 21 goals, 33 assists? I don't know. I feel like anything that I do here, any elite player I try and get in a trade would be like, oh no, they would never trade their first line right winger for just, you know, depth pieces and like Mantha and Knyzhov and stuff like that. So I'm not seeing anything that really tempts me enough. If I go to the Blues and look at Buchnevich, this makes sense. They have Thomas, they have Kyrou. Buchnevich letting him go to free agency would make sense. I don't see him getting re-signed by the Blues. So if I wanted to try and trade for Buchnevich, I'm not going to give you Mantha because you don't need another right winger. But because maybe Blake Wheeler though. You don't need a top right winger. Maybe you need a bottom 6 forward. A guy who's going to be there. Yeah, because there's Thomas first line, Kyrou second line. You're not going to put Buchnevich third line. You can have Moore third line, and he plays left wing or right wing. So yeah, Wheeler as a third liner makes sense. I'm not going to trade them Mantha, but I will try and trade them Wheeler. Would you be interested in taking Knyzhov as well? Not a guy I want. Oh, I love his trade value. What about Merkley? Young player like Merkley. You take him instead. Do you need a young defense? Well, regardless of if they need him or not, they want him, so I don't know what their plans are. So they want Ryan Merkley. Could I take a second and a fourth next season? Buchnevich, a second and a fourth for Wheeler and quite far off in value for Wheeler and Merkley. Let's try a second and a sixth. About to kick me out, but let's see if I can squeeze it in here. Second and a sixth. Rejected. All right, just a second straight up. Trade accepted. All right. The rights to Pavel Buchnevich. Hope that works out. First overall pick, medium franchise sniper for the Canadians. Another right winger for them. And we go ahead and acquire, let me just go back to the trade here. We go ahead and acquire Buchnevich and a second next season. Very good. In exchange for Ryan Merkley, who another guy, again, I really wanted to win with, but asking way too much money right now. If the Blues want him, they want him for a reason, so I'll see what they can do. He's an RFA anyway, so they'll find something out. Former first-round pick in 2018. We gave him his chance. I didn't want to just trade him because he had value. We gave him 2 full NHL seasons, and he did a great job. I'm not disappointed in Merkley. It's just a matter, it's nothing personal, just a matter of he's asking for too much, and there's not enough ice time to give him. So Ryan Merkley traded to the Blues along with Blake Wheeler, who had a great reclamation season. We gave him a run at a cup, and now we get value for him. That was Tic Tac suggestion, so that worked out for us. That worked out for us. Now, the next thing on the list is, do we look at trying to trade Mantha and Knyzhov. Let's see who's available at pick number 6. Do we want to trade for the 6th overall pick? Michael Misa, yes, going to the Montreal Canadiens, medium elite. Holly, medium elite, going to the Flames. Medium top 6, yikes, already at pick number 4. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that 6th overall pick. I'd probably be looking at a first-round pick next year. So unfortunately, there are no sellers that that want both players and can afford them. So I have to trade them to a buyer team. Just a team that has the salary cap space to take them both on. Not many teams can do that. Looks like the Islanders or the Panthers could. Based on their rosters, it looks like the Panthers would make the most sense. So Mantha and Knyzhov to Florida for a first-round pick next season. I don't want any picks this year, so I would just take a first next season, maybe a first and a fourth next season, and then a third the year after. A first, a third, and a fourth from Florida for Mantha and Knyzhov. What do you say about this? Trade accept. I think that's a fair deal. All right, so Anthony Mantha, 1 year, didn't really work out. Knyzhov, really the one that I'm sad to part with. Wishing you all the best over in Florida. We reclaim some picks. We get something for next year's draft. We still have a good amount in this year's draft, which I'm not exceptionally looking forward to. But a couple firsts, couple seconds next year already. We could even trade the picks that we don't want to use this year for picks next year. But in terms of personnel, we had to move out so that we could use the money in this coming offseason. That's big. Knyzhov, Mantha, Wheeler, Merkley, that frees up a lot of money. So not the greatest prospects here going at all. So we're going to sim all the way to pick number 31. No one interests me in that first round. Looking at after we continue to simulate more just top 6s. We're around 60 overall, 71 there to the Islanders. Medium elite defensemen. Yeah, nothing that would tempt. These are guys you can find in the second round. And they're going, even medium top 9. And they're going in the first. It doesn't make sense in terms of value. So 31st overall, this is where I wouldn't mind taking a top 6 guy. If I was in the 10th spot, I wouldn't. But Jaden James is medium top 4D, 17 years of age, 4 years away. Similar to Nicholas Jarmelson. I wouldn't necessarily mind another top 4D in the system. Like, we have the big guys, Rodin, Pickering. But aside from that, I don't think we have many other pieces. And no one really tempts me at this point either. There's a low top 6 forward, 3-bar low elite, a medium starter. Gabriel Degler, who we were looking at. Yeah, the 2 years away guy. But I think we're going to take one of the other goalies instead. We were looking at Jesus Foy, who is a fringe starter, but is 2 years away at the age of 17. So I think he's going to be the guy that we take a chance on. We already have the high elite goaltender in our system. So I don't know if I want to use it on a medium starter when I could take a medium top 4D who seems pretty solid. So I think we're going to go with the medium top 4D for the first overall selection. With the 31st overall selection in the 2025 NHL entry draft, the San Jose Sharks are proud to select from the U.S. development system, Jaden James. Welcome to Team Bello. You are 60 overall, medium top 4D, as expected. I don't mind that for a late first round pick, and even as an X factor, superstar ability, Ice Pack. Great shot blocking. Not going to be a piece that we're really even thinking about for a few years, at least. 17 years of age. He'll be a little bit of a project, but I like that for 31st overall. Next, I think we're in at least, that goalie's in the 60s. So yeah, we're going to go to pick number 55. I'm not going to make any picks between now and then, but I am curious to see what that Degler goaltender ended up being in terms of overall, at least in the 70s. Top 9 goes to the Hurricanes. Yikes. Top 9s, top 6Ds. Oh my goodness. We're at the last decent player there. Degler is 67 overall, medium starter at 18 years of age. Interesting. All right, goes to the Blackhawks. Top 6, low. See, like medium top 6. This guy's as good as the guy who went 10th overall. Solomon Teal, 6'4" power forward, or 19th, not 10th overall, but like in that teen range. Low top 4D, low top 6 forward, high fringe goalie Grabeshkov, Leclerc, Yakimov, Holmstrom. All right, so pick number 55. Do we go for the goaltender here, or do we risk it? We'll risk it. There's not really anything tempting at all. I think we'll probably just trade down for the goalie. Low top 4D is nice, but we'll probably go for Jesus Foy, who's still a little bit away, actually, right? Where is he? He's at 65, like 10 more picks. So we could probably trade down a little. Why not? Let's go to pick 61 with the Lightning. Let's try and risk it. I know sometimes it gets risky with goalies, but it is 4 picks behind where he should be going. So I'll give you pick number 55. Can I even make it something crazy? Like, I'll give you 55 and 64 for 61, and you give me a second-round pick next season. Would that be okay? And then you throw in a 6th because you just feel like being nice to me? How about that? Trade rejected. How about just this? 2 seconds for 2 seconds? Bang! Trade accepted. Thank you very much. For a weak class, I'll do that. And they end up taking a medium top 9 forward. Lovely. All right. Montreal wants 61. And yeah, don't see some people in the comments, they say, oh, that trade's not realistic. Well, they want to give me 138 and 130 for 61, 2/5 for a second. If I wanted another second right now, I'd have to trade a second and a 5th. You want to give me 2/5 for a second? That's laughable. That's the definition of a laughable trade offer, even bordering on disgusting. Come on. Jesus Foy, medium fringe, not the greatest potential, but he's 2 years away at the age of 17, so he's at least in like the high 60 overalls. From the Sherbrooke Phoenix of the QMJHL, let's see what we got here. He is 68 overall, 17 years of age. Oh my goodness, wow. So I've never seen this for a goalie. Low potential, high overall, and very young age. I'll be very curious to see how he develops. That being said, we can go ahead and sim to pick number 63, which is just one more away. Vandenbush goes there, 62 overall, low top 6. Still a couple low top 4D available. Our scouts had these guys at 61 and 60. Vesa Aitokalio, another defensive defenseman, 3 years away. Or Omar Howe, 4 years away. Both kind of defensive defensemen. Vesa Aitokalio is tempting. No one really else around here? No, eh? Yikes. Do we go and use the second on the low top 4D? He is 3 years away. We already traded 64, so I might as well use 63. Vesa Aitokalio, welcome to the franchise. 62 overall, low top 4D. Yeah, I don't mind that. Defensive defenseman again. Yeah, I don't mind it. Simming for the next pick, number 74. This might be where we start trading some picks because low top 9, fringe, yeah, low top 4Ds that went there. Omar Howe as well. Okay, I think we're going to start looking at trading picks and just going after the guys that we really want, which is not many, I don't believe. Do I have anyone pinned? I have Dax Williams. Yeah, I love that name. For the Trill Dax, of course, if you catch the Deep Space Nine reference. 3-bar low elite, around 100. We could go for that guy. After that, unimpressed. So yeah, I'm going to trade for around pick 100. And then after that, we might just trade our picks for the rest of this draft. Let's go ahead and bless the Flyers. Here you go, 74, 95, 191, and 209 in exchange for pick number 100. But can I try and squeeze... let's go crazy. Can I get a first from you if I also give you back one of those seconds that I got earlier? If I try to give you, like, the Tampa Bay second? Can we do that? Would that be ludicrous? Yeah, pretty ludicrous, eh? Let's just try and get another second, maybe. Then we can use those to trade up in the future. GM Data is always thinking about the future. How about a third in 2026 and a third in 2027? 2/3 and a 4th for 2/3, a 6th, and a 7th. Trade accepted. Hey, let's go. All right. Love to see that. Let's go and sim to pick number 100, where we will select that guy, Whitney. What was it? I forget what the first name was. Two-way forward, low elite out of the U.S. Central. Christopher Whitney, center left wing, 5 years away. Hopefully just potential low top 6, maybe something like that. Low elite. Okay, 51 overall, low elite. We'll take it for pick number 100. Evenly balanced prospect. And at pick number 223, we will take Dax Williams solely because of the name with the second to last pick in the draft. We'll sort by pinned players. The Dax host currently in Dax Williams of the Calgary Hitmen probably has atrocious potential, but just to have him in the franchise for the Deep Space Nine reference, get him in there. Dax Williams, AHL top 2D, love it. Last pick goes to the Hurricanes, and they get a medium 7th D. Alrighty, there's the draft. James, Foy, Aitokalio, Whitney, and Williams, along with some big trades as we head into the re-sign phase here, because it looks like we're going to try and keep Esa Lindell. We're going to try and sign on Pavel Bushnevich. We'll see what we can do. We have our head coach, associate coach, and assistant coach all needing new contracts, and a couple of scouts as well. So I'll take care of that off screen, and then we'll get back to the contracts. All right, offers are sent out. I'm not sure if we'll end up keeping that same coaching staff, but we at least want to have them signed on, and then we'll decide come July 1st. So into the re-sign phase now. We have 15.593 million to play with, all expiring. First up, Pavel Buchnevich. How much do you want, and will you be our first-line right wing next season? You want 5 by 8.375, excuse me. It's the same, pretty much, yeah, from 3, 4, 5 years, it's the same. At 30 years of age, and we'll need to give new contracts to who's coming up the fastest here. Bedard in 2026-27. In 2027-28, Bouchard, Kniazev, Pickering. I almost just do like a 2-year deal on Buchnevich. Then by that 3rd year, Drouin and Cunnin. 2 or 3 years on Buchnevich. Let's do 3 years. I think 3 is fair for Buchnevich. He wants a little bit of security. He came here, I almost go 4. 85% is 7.118. I'd be willing to go 3 years at, I think 7.25 is a fair deal for everyone. 7.250 for 3 years on Pavel Buchnevich. He's going to be playing with Connor Bedard. He's going to have great opportunities. Getting over $20 million for only 3 years. I think that's making everybody happy. So we'll see what he says about it. Let's offer it and see what he has to say. Esa Lindell now. How does your demand look? 3 years at 5.325. I could do 3 years on Esa Lindell as well. 85%, 4.52. Let's say 750 for Esa Lindell, 85 overall. 3 years at 4.750. 750K more than Kniazev was costing us. And I think he's worth it. So there's 4.75 for him. Jason Zucker, it's not going to work out, buddy. We love you. Thank you for the memories here. Just came in as a toss-in in that deal with the Penguins when we just wanted to try and make a good hockey deal for everybody. Throw in Zucker as a contract. He ended up scoring 13 points in 31 games, and in the postseason, 26 in 18. Forever etched in Sharks history, but we're going to have to release him. Thank you for your service here in San Jose. We will miss you. Just looking at the UFAs now, I'll also send out offers, sorting by overall. I guess maybe to Phillips, Kostitsyn, the prospects of Megna, Weatherby, I'll probably just let them walk. RFAs, I'll try and... let's see what Reedy wants, because he could continue to be a fourth-line guy for us. Yeah, not asking much, but he has the top 6 potential, so I don't want to cheese him out of a deal for too long. I think 2-year deal probably makes the most sense, because we're going to have people coming up in the system after. I don't want it too crammed up. So 2 years, 1.5, probably fair enough to me. Sam Reedy, homegrown player, excuse me. Noah Gregor, yeah, he doesn't want much. I like that, no problem. Let's give him a couple of years as well. You can be a depth guy for a couple of years. You're 81 overall. I might even go 3 years on him just because he's... Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. 3 years at 950K for a guy who says, I understand I'm going to be kind of like a 13th forward, and that's okay with me. Okay, let's do it. The rest of these guys, Weisblatt, Humala, the younger guys will get signed. Some of them will get released, but I'll take care of that off screen. Unsigned players, Rodin is going to get his contract as he'll be making the jump to the NHL this season. In the SHL this last year, after being drafted, he ended up scoring 40 points in 52 games as an offensive defenseman. Love that. And Larry Tanguay over on HC Lugano in Switzerland, 12 points in 46 games for him. Didn't grow in overall. He's still a 77, but he's going to try to make the team. Worst case, he'll be in the AHL. Kivi Haru, I don't think we'll sign yet, and that'll probably be it for that. And goaltenders, Montembeault, you were good as a backup, but I don't have $1.5 million for a 79 overall. I can get those for $800K. Have to release you. Lindbergh, Makanyemi, I'd like to sign both of you. And you both want reasonable deals. Makanyemi, it's a bit more than I'd want to give. I'll see. Let me do Lindbergh first, and we'll see. But aside from that, I'm going to send out some contracts and advance a day. Alright, so let's advance a day and see what the first few coaches, scouts, and everybody... Lindell is interested in principle, but it's about the money. Alright, so at least it sounds like the years are okay. Buchnevich, same thing, eh? The years. Okay, everybody else, Prunovich, Gregor, Reedy, Abramov, Lindbergh, Tanguay, Gushin, Weisblatt, Streit, Kostitsyn, Rodin, everyone's on board. Okay, that's great. Just the years on our biggest guys. Okay. Well, the money, sorry. The years for Buchnevich, the money for Lindell. So we'll have more money in the future. Couture, Vlasic. Let's try 4 years on Buchnevich. Same deal. 7.25, but for 4 years. An extra year. An extra, we're getting around, what, $30 million? 7.25 for 4 years. Let's see what he has to say about that. For Lindell, we'll just increase the dollar value because he still likes the 3 years. That's good. I'm going to go 3 years. Let's say 4.85 for 3 years and go from there. Phillips wants 1 million, like 1.15 and a one-way deal, so I'm going to have to release him. But Weatherby is interested in a two-way deal, so I will give him another 1 year there. Thank you very much. And for the RFAs, I want to make a comment on Tomala. Wanted too much to have to qualify. And Gadjevich, yeah, why not? I'll give him a year. Let's simulate another day forward. Head coach is back. I'm glad he likes the role. What do you want me to offer you? GM? President of Hockey Ops? The associate coach is back. He mulled it over, and he's not interested. The assistant coach doesn't want to come back as an assistant because he thinks he's too good now. All right. Scouts are back. Very good. Just a couple of them. And drum roll, please. Easy decision for Esa Lindell. Let's go. 4.85 for the next 3 years. And Buchnevich still wants the 5 years. But it says that I'm going to reject at this dollar value, so I don't really want to go to 5 years on a 30-year-old. What if I go back to saying let's do 3 years, but now I offer you like 7.5? Because I don't want to go, I can't play around too much because it's going to get close to unrestricted free agency here. But Buchnevich, 3 years at 7.5, still doesn't like that. Getting close to free agency. Let's go 4 years at 7.65. That's getting close to my max now. 4 years at 7.65. Pavel, come on. With Bedard for years to come. Come on, buddy. So I did a little bit of thinking. I looked at the values. Carlson's contract expiring soon. I think we could afford something around 4 years, 7.85 for Buchnevich. Come on, buddy. I really did my part. You do yours now. Come on. Last day. Okay, yeah, sorry, McNamee, forgot about him. Come on. Pavel, you're killing me. This is my last day for an offer before we have to start dealing with other teams in unrestricted free agency. This is really like the last deal now. I'm not going to 5 years. I'm going to keep it at 4. But I guess we're going to like 8.150. Ridiculous for Pavel Buchnevich. He better perform. He better perform. If he signs, he signs. If he doesn't, we got a second round pick for those guys. It is what it is. RFAs. Just going to go ahead and qualify Makanyemi. I'm not giving him one-way 1.5 or 1.15. And that's it. Let's advance today. Unsigned players are good to go. Buchnevich, it's up to you now. Easy decision. Of course it was. Easy decision. All right. Thank you, my friend. And that assistant coach is not coming back because he wanted to be an associate coach. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Looking at the main roster now, we have $3.243 million to play with. And of course, now is the first day we can offer an extension to Connor Bedard. Oh, I'd be so tempted to just offer that to him right now. Do we go 8x9? Would that be crazy for Connor Bedard? He's going to ask for way more very soon. We could even go 6 years, give him as an RFA. 6 years as an RFA, and then he wants like $13 million. Or 8 years, and he's a UFA, and then he still wants like 13.5, 14 million. Oh boy, that's gonna be one that I asked the Discord server about. I don't need to think about it right now. I'm gonna throw it in the server and let them think about it for a little bit. Aside from that, Lucius, we can figure them out at another time. Okay, 3.243. I think we have most of our team already set as well. We have our 12 forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's, that's 12 without adding in anyone who might make a push like Ozzy Weisblatt. So I think we're good there. The defense is still a little jammed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, so just, 8, because the rest are not making it. So, Vlasic is probably 8, and 7, is it Kniazev? But he has top 4D potential. I prefer if he wasn't. We'll figure that out into the preseason and stuff like that, but at the moment, pretty tight in that bottom pair and extended. Okay. And goaltending, of course, we can still look to sign a better backup. Makanyemi is still wanting too much at the moment. Actually, it's just for 1 year. So if we go 2 years, yeah, 2 years, he's willing to take a cheap deal. I don't know why it's such a weird thing. 2 years, 800K on Makanyemi. Let's send him that. Is it the same for Tuamala? I would imagine that it is. Looking at RFAs, is it a weird thing for him as well? And it is. Okay, 2 years at 800K for Tuamala. And he might, actually 3 would keep him as an RFA. Even 4? Yeah, why not? 4 years. Let's max out the RFA status. Or not, let's not go too crazy. 3 years, because then he wants less. 3 years, 850K. Alrighty. And who ended up dropping to free agency? Let's check this out. Victor Hedman in free agency. Connor Brown, Matt Zuccarello. Let's just look at the UFAs. Marchand, Giroux, Tavares, Rupe Hintz. Interesting deal there. Only wants about $8 million for a very good quality player. If we were looking at the right wing, let's say we didn't go after Buchnevich, it would have been tough. Brown would have been the top guy, wanting $9 million. So I think it made sense to go after Buchnevich. I think that was a good pickup. Just hopefully the simulation goes all right. Goaltenders, maybe someone who we could trust, like a Robin Lehner at 2.275. I like that kind of deal. Big Robin Lehner, 6'4", 84 overall. Tough year last season. We've only played in 20 games with Vegas. Even the year before that, though, oof, did not simulate very well. I don't like that. I wouldn't mind 40-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury, but having someone who could stay more than 1 year would also be good. And Linus Ullmark at an 85 overall, only wanting 2.35. That's a very good deal as well. 1.2 for Vladar at an 83. How do these guys simulate? 905, 905, 907. It goes back to the top, of course. And Kakinen, by the way, also in free agency. Matt Murray, not great. Forsberg, so-so. And then it goes into the 82 territory. But it wouldn't be too expensive to get a guy like Linus Ullmark. We have 3.2 to play with. We could go, yeah, 2 years, $2 million? 2 years, $2 million. I wouldn't be opposed to that. 2 years, $2 million. And he's also an 85, so if he needs to share with Samsonov, if he's struggling, let's go Linus Ullmark, 2 years, $2 million. If he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, I think we can get someone else for cheap as well. That's just too good of an offer to pass up if he's willing to sign it. He must have had a tough last season. Yeah, I only played 23 games. That's why. He's looking to play a bit more. So he won't be a starter, but he'll definitely get more starts with us than just 20. I would imagine if Samsonov continues to have his struggles. Any good potential players in the UFAs? Poulain, Nyback. I could look to sign some guys for the AHL potentially, but I think that's it. I'm not going to touch anything else in free agency. Looking at the higher staff screen now, there are definitely going to be some scouts that we send some offers to, but what about the coaches? So scouts, any A guys out here? I would imagine there's a good number. Yeah, there are. Higher coaches, though. Generalist, this guy Piper, Jerry Piper, B coach influence, but A pluses everywhere else. 62% on the team fit, then A minuses for everyone else. The thing is, our head coach, he's already A, right? Would it just be a lateral move and maybe just mess up the coaching chemistry, which also has an effect on simulation? If we were to 98%. Crazy chemistry. I'm hesitant to sign an assistant coach or a goalie coach. I'll leave that with all of you. But I know there is the B- on the teaching, but I'll leave that to not in a suggestion, but I'll leave that to the Discord server as well. So a couple suggestions I'm going to throw over to them, the head coach and the Bedard extension, before we simulate past July 1st. So the assistant general managers over on the Discord server have spoken in a vote of 7-0. At the moment of recording, I'm not sure how it's looking later on, but at the moment 7-0. People are saying go after the new head coach, especially Scott mentioning, I don't put too much stock into off-season staff chemistry. It inevitably ebbs and flows depending on other moves, so I say try to upgrade. So realism-wise, it wouldn't make as much sense to say, okay, you just brought us to the Stanley Cup final, now we're going to be relieving you of your duties. Honestly, when it comes to realism, coaching is the one aspect of franchise mode that I do not adhere to. Since coaching is such a joke and it is just impossible to play with, and it's such a game of musical chairs, a headache of musical chairs. It's a really broken system. I don't even think just in my opinion, I think just factually it's a very broken system. So I'm interested in keeping Avery. He's fine, but we do have to battle with Detroit and Vancouver to try and get this guy Jerry Piper as our new head coach. I think he'll be helpful for us. So I'm going to try and offer him big money, let's say like $6 million over the next 8 years. And there we go, $6 million million over 8 years for Jerry Piper. Let's see what he has to say. And then going back to our own head coach, shout out to Avery in the Discord server. Apologies, I will have to demote him. We'll demote him to NHL assistant, then interim NHL head coach. This guy's down to assistant coach. So then Avery can be our associate coach. It doesn't hurt to have an A-rated associate coach. Staff chemistry, 99%. But if we could get Jerry Piper as the new head coach, that would be helpful. So we'll see what he says about that. Scouts, I'm going to send out some offers there as well. I'll do that off screen. But the other question I asked over in the Discord server was, what do we do for the Connor Bedard extension? At the moment, that vote is 8-1 in favor of give him the 8-year extension and make him an expiring UFA. But this is the one time where I think I'm going to veto what the assistant general managers have to say, because Derek and I went on to have a conversation. I said, the way I see it, we'll be paying huge dollars for Bedard's next contract no matter what, but the RFA status would help in not losing him if he's stubborn. And then Derek replies, that's fair, maybe better actually. He went on to say about how Simon Nemec once wanted $19.5 million in his franchise mode. So the question of the Connor Bedard extension is not, can we get him for cheaper and pay him less or whatever else? I think it's a question of, can we keep him? Because if Connor Bedard, we pay him less for 8 years, get him extended longer, there's the higher risk of then he wants unreasonably ludicrous numbers that we cannot sign him to when he goes to free agency. Meanwhile, if we sign him as an RFA, yes, he'll cost us more down the road and less now, but we also give ourselves a much greater opportunity of keeping him long term, because if he does want wild, ludicrous EA land numbers, we can just qualify him and sign him later on in July. So I think I will, in the name of wanting to keep Connor Bedard for the entirety of this franchise mode, sign him to a 6-year deal, not holding as much to realism, but rather to EA mechanics. And I'll give him the 6-year deal. He wants 8.875. 85% of that is 7.50 around. I think 6 years at 7.5 is fine. Calder Trophy, 19 years of age, coming off of a solid 44-goal season. 7 points, even let's go a bit more. 7.750 for 6 years, I think is a very fair contract for him. $1 million less than he's asking, but he'll be, 25, 26? Yeah, he'll be 26 once this extension expires, and he'll be poised for a huge payday. At this point, though, with still more to prove, after one amazing season and then the season before a Calder Trophy, I think 6 by 7.75 is fair at this moment. We know that he'll be getting 12, 13 million once his next contract comes around. We'll see what he says to that once we start simulating a few days forward. I'm going to fire and hire some scouts, and then we'll try to get through the rest of July, August. All right, offers have been sent out. We should have 7 new scouts. Let's see the Bedard extension, the Allmark signing, the head coach signing. Let's see what happens as we begin to advance a few days forward. A few scouts coming in. Very good. Continuing on, moving to July 4th. The makeup of your roster is exactly what I'm looking for. I accept with no reservations. Jerry Piper, welcome to San Jose, my friend, with a great staff around him. A-rated associate, B- assistant. Lovely stuff. All right. More scouts. Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. Welcome to the organization. A 3rd and a 6th for a 3rd and Vlasic. Tempting, actually, but I will pass. I kept Vlasic for a reason. Advancing another day. Makanyemi accepts the offer. Very good. Tuamala. All right. Here is the moment of truth. Drouet and Vlasic for 2 seconds. Keep that in mind. Moment of truth headed to July 6th now. Extremely happy. All right. I think can add a lot to a team that's destined for a good run in the playoffs. 85 overall backup, Linus Ullmark, at a very reasonable deal. Thank you for having that desire to come here on a discount, I suppose. Easy decision for Bedard to extend 6 years as an RFA. Very good. I'm quite pleased with how you view me compared to my teammates. Okay, very good. And I think that's just about it. We still have about $2 million to play with. No other free agent contracts to send out. No other extensions to do. I think we're pretty much ready. Maybe a couple pieces for the AHL that I'll do off camera. But without further ado, let's sim through the off season. Eat well, sleep well, enjoy some time in the sun, get some vitamin D, see the family, train hard with Gary Roberts, and I'll see everyone back at the facilities in September. And of course, as always, the last thing to do before we call it an off season, we have to randomize a number between 1 and 100 for the draft class quality and generated prospect quality. Around 1 to 30 would be low, 30 to 70 medium, and 70 to 100 would be high. So generating the first number between 1 and 100, I get 51, almost smack dab in the middle. So the draft class quality will remain medium for next season. And the generated prospect quality will be 35, so medium again, just barely medium. So we will continue once again with a medium class headed into 2026. So we've arrived at the beginning of 2025-26. Let's see who ate well and trained hard, what kind of development or regression we had over the offseason, and the idea of what our lineup may look like headed into the beginning of year number 4. All right, so here we are to begin year number 4. The first line looks scary. William Eklund, grown to an 88 overall at the age of 22. He's in the first year of that 8-year extension, paying him just shy of $8 million per season. Scary stuff coming our way. 5-star senses and defense, my goodness. Centering that first line is 20-year-old, 90 overall Connor Bedard. Glad we got him on that extension. It's going to cost a ton. It's going to hurt bad when he's 26 years of age. But for now, he is taking a team-friendly deal while he's still young. Makes a lot of sense, but he's going to want to cash in sooner rather than later. And right wing first line, our new piece, Pavel Buchnevich, 87 overall. The first year was 4-year deal, paying him 8.15 per season. Second line, we have Chaz Lucius, who's grown to an 83. Give him the 4.5-star shooting, the 93 offensive awareness, the increased ice time. He's coming off of a 21-goal, 40-point rookie season, playing just over 11 minutes per night. Give him that second line role with Hurdle at an 87, and Drouin, who grew from an 84 to an 87, could be a great year for Chaz Lucius in a sophomore season. Third line, Lindblom down to an 83, Glass up to an 84. Continuing to love this reclamation project. And on the right wing, Logan Couture, who, he only has the 75 face-off, so I don't mind him playing the wing. 36 years of age, 2 years left at $8 million. He's still the captain. I want to try and win with him while we can. Fourth line, rookie Larry Tongue with Scott Reedy. I keep saying Sam. Scott Reedy and Luke Cunnin. They'll get their special teams and stuff like that to supplement. Defense, first pair, I'm thinking Mats Rodin plays with Erik Karlsson. He's already at an 83 overall at the age of 19. I could see this working out. They have a +3 for chemistry, 86 and 86. Lindell gives it a +2, and then the second pair has a -1. So maybe Lindell and Bouchard stay together, 85 and 83. Then third pair is Mario Ferraro with Owen Pickering, also his rookie season, 81 overall at 21 years of age. Between the pipes, we have 86 overall Ilya Samsonov and 85 overall Linus Ullmark. $7 million for 2 starting caliber goaltenders. Very happy to see that. 13th forward at the moment is Noah Grigor at an 81. 7th D is Kniazev at an 81 with medium top 4 D potential. I don't like having him waste away there, especially with 95 shot blocking and 93 stick checking and 5-star physical at 5'11". And then 8th defenseman is Marc-Edouard Vlasic, 80 overall at the age of 38. Down in the AHL, if you're curious about who the prospects are, first line is pretty much all that we have. Tuomala, Bystedt, and Weisblatt all at 78 overall. Defense, we don't really have any prospects. I did sign Tobias Bjornfot, a player who I have a great hockey card of, if you saw the most recent hockey card video here on the channel. But aside from that, no huge prospects in the system at the moment. I'm going to sign a couple more players. But that's how the lineup's looking before we touch special teams and all that. So I'd be curious to hear your suggestions headed into 2025-26 about the lineup. Where should people play? Who needs the special teams time? Who should we give auditions to in certain roles in the preseason? All that good stuff. The last thing to look at will be the trade blocks around the NHL before we call it an off season. I'll send out the scouts and do all that stuff on my own. And if you're curious about the trade values on this team right now, look at the trade values. Beautiful. Kiwi Harvey's up to a 71 overall as well. Really great stuff. Like, we could make a lot of moves with our excess. Not even with our guys at the bottom, even just with our excess. And our draft picks in 2026, 2 firsts, 3 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. We are in a great position. GM Data doing what he can to stock the shelves. Looking at what other teams in the NHL have on their trade block at the moment, heading into the beginning of this season. Keep anybody in mind for now or potentially head towards the trade deadline. Fowler, Pedersen, Kuzmenko, Pysyk on the block in Anaheim. No one on the block in Arizona. Boston, Alexandre Carrier, pretty solid contract on the block. Novara, Forbort, Ruta, Poitras, Gavrikov, Sprong in Buffalo, Kadri, Kapanen, Perron, Van Riemsdyk, Janmark, Howler. What's that trade value for Janmark? A lot of names on the block here in Calgary. Carolina Hurricanes, we see just prospects. Chicago prospects. Colorado prospects, Columbus, Chinnikov, who's an RFA, and this medium elite prospect with others. Dallas Stars, we see Larson, Walker, Savard, Benning. Detroit, Larkin, 5 years left. Bertuzzi, Kopp, Klingberg, Nyquist, Robinson, Stenlund. Edmonton, Yamamoto, who's once again an RFA. They can't sign him. My goodness, they have $1.7 million in cap space. Maybe we can find some other deal to relieve their cap situation and take a pick or something, but we don't have much room ourselves. That's just an unfortunate turn of events for the Oilers. Prospects in Florida, Fiala, Kempe, Niederreiter, some big names here in Los Angeles. Minnesota Wild, Yakov Trenin, 81, plus some prospects. Montreal Canadiens, Brett Pesce, Gallagher, Shea, Matheson, Gagne. A lot of names, but not too many who are on expiring deals. Predators, Matt Duchene, expiring deal. New Jersey Devils, prospects. Islanders, nobody. Rangers, Othman, Strudwick, and Pagadouan. Ottawa Senators, Mathieu Joseph, who's at an 85 overall. Good for him, expiring deal. Edmondson, Eller, Hinostroza, Goodbranson. Flyers, Couturier, Konechny, but all multi-year deals aside from Zuccarello, 1 year at an 85. Murray and Blackwell as well. Raquel, Russ, Granlund, Bennett, Voracek, Hayes, all in Pittsburgh. Guryanov, Wenberg, Barabanov, Strome in Seattle. D'Angelo, Falk, Pareko, Montour. There's a lot of high-quality, high overall players on the block. No one in Tampa Bay. Kessel has an 85 overall back in Toronto. Love it. Yarncrow, Zadorov, Suter, and a prospect in Toronto. Lekaramaki and others in Vancouver. Vegas, this guy Allen, Cam Allen. Yeah, it's true. First round pick in 2023. Okay. Dean, Zachary Dean, who is Zach Dean playmaker. Yeah. All right. Washington, nobody, and Winnipeg, couple prospects. All right, so there are the blocks around the NHL if anyone piques your fancy. And that just about does it. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to enjoy the off-season. Are we in a better position headed into 2025-26? What do you think about this team? What did you like about the off-season? Anything you would have done differently? Leave your thoughts down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. A big happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy the holiday season. Have a very Merry Christmas, as this is the last upload before Christmas. I'm going to take a little break over Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and be back with another episode before the new year. Then probably just take a break over the new year, and we'll be back with more episodes into 2023. So second to last Sharks episode of the calendar year, I would say. Some other hockey card content going on the channel. If you haven't already checked it out, there have been a couple videos dipping into that world. I created an Instagram account for the channel and for hockey cards, so if you want to check all of that out, it's going to be in the end cards at the end of this video. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Being made aware of all of our NHL 23 franchise mode videos, career simulations, the hockey card videos, breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey, and much, much more. Trying to hit 5,500 before the end of the year, so if you're enjoying the content and you haven't subscribed yet, it would mean a lot going into 2023. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for taking the time to enjoy. Looking forward to reading all your thoughts and seeing you again in the next one. Have yourselves a very Merry Christmas.